Guys, how are you doing? I was getting so itching to play with the UDR again. I was going to try and bodge it up and just get it working again. And just as I started getting all the materials out to get something bodged, this turned up all the way from America. None of these in the UK, so I ordered it online on eBay from America and it's just turned up. So let's get this thing fitted and get this UDR back on the road. What I was going to do is I've got an old centre drive shaft here out of an X-Max and I've got this little thingamajig here that comes out of an X-Max as well. So what I was thinking was this spline on here is the exact same spline as what that is there. And then that can fit over there like that. And then all I've got to do is get this bit here, cut the end of this tube off here and fit that onto there and just make it the right length. And I don't think that would be too hard. All I would basically have to do is turn this down. I mean, Spike's got a lathe, so if Spike's around, I would have done it on spikes. But if not, I could have still stuck it in a drill and just kept sanding that down on a bit of sandpaper or something. And just keep sanding that down until it fits inside this tube. So then, I've got that there. That fits inside that, cut the tube off there. That fits inside the tube that way. And then I could have even drilled another hole through there and put a pin through there or another grub screw. And then also the grub screw here would perfectly fit through there and sort of touch onto that as well. And that would probably be stronger than this. So I'm still going to do that. If this breaks again and I'm still waiting for parts, I'm going to give this solution a go. So that's kind of my second backup plan. So I'm not sure how this goes back together. Well, I am kind of semi-sure. Here's all the parts that I've got to put back on. But it's been a while since I've taken them apart. And luckily I put all the bits into like the bits where they go. So hopefully it won't be too bad. Alright, so I'm not going to put the whole build video or repair video on here. Because I'm not fully sure what I'm doing. And it's just going to take ages and ages and ages if I try and film it all. So I'm just going to put a few snippets on there. So don't take this as a proper repair guide, guys. It's just kind of a little bit of a watch me what I'm doing kind of thing. So we don't need this part because this part is still attached. And that is the part that holds that on. So that can go on there. And then that pin on there. Hopefully that's just going to slot straight back in here. Yes. And we got the steering. That goes into there. We got this steering that goes into there. Yes. Alright, so now, how does this go? Ah, haha, yes. The thing is, if there's any of you newbies out there, and you're scared to tear this thing apart to repair on stuff, that's the only way you're going to learn. You have to take it apart, take photos as you go along, label the bits up, that's what we've done here. All the bits that sort of stick together, I put them into a separate bowl. So, these, so top plate there, the screws to that in there, the screws for this all left onto that. So then we know exactly when it comes to putting it all back together again where everything kind of goes. Well, not exactly, but at least it's like we've got a better idea than if we just dumped it all in one big heap. When I think this thing's definitely going to be a little bit harder to work on than something like an X-Max because it's sort of fairly scale everything. But to be honest, it's a lot easier to work on than what I first thought. I thought it was going to be a lot more tricky. So considering the type of RC what this is, I think Traxxas really have done a top job to make it as easy as possible, to work on something like, this scale. By the way, guys, if you're wondering where I got this hammer from, it's got a nice little brass bit on the end, and it's just ideal for when you're working on RC cars. You can just sort of tap bearings in and bushes in and hinge pins and stuff like that, and because it's brass on there, you're not going to damage any of the metal if you just use a normal hammer. And my buddy Spike made this, and I'll put a link to that video down below if you want to check that out, if you want to make your own. Next, I'm guessing this has to go back on. See, because I put these screws back in here, that's why I know exactly where they go back again. And especially with this, it's been sat on the shelf broken for like the past few weeks. And I definitely would not have remembered where all these bits go had I just dumped it all, all in one pile. maybe if we take this sway bar off, that's going to give us a little bit more movement. And off. Oh, see, done it wrong. These bits. This is for the receiver box. So I'm learning all the time, guys. Next time I do this, it's going to be a lot easier. That's how you learn. You learn by doing. Any of you guys are always scared to try things out. That's how you learn. I mean, going to school, reading books, all that, like, it's all good and well. But eventually, you are going to have to actually take action and do it. And that is how you learn stuff, by actually doing it. You're going to make mistakes along the way. They're not called failures, it's called data. Sometimes we win, sometimes we learn. And at the moment, I'm learning. So I've done it wrong a couple of times. No big deal. Put it together properly. And now we know better for next time. Same with anything in life, guys. Same in business. Anything, you name it. You can do all your like theoretical research to start with. But all that doesn't mean anything if you're not actually going to take action. I mean, you could read all the UDR manuals there are. You could read all the RC repair guides there are. Like, yes, they're going to help you. But if you're still not going to fix your own RC at the end of it all, then it's just a waste of time. You're not really learning much. You know, learning stuff is all about remembering. So yeah, you know, get your training, read your books. Do whatever it is you got to do to learn whatever it is you're learning about, but then you have to take action. But actually taking action and but actually doing it is what makes it stick in your brain. You know, if you read a book, that's all good and well. If it tells you in the book to do something, but if you don't take action right away, you're probably going to forget. See, with this here, I could have read all the instructions, I could have read all the books. If I wouldn't have done it straight away, I would have forgotten. But if you get straight on it, do it straight away so it's fresh in your brain, then you actually you program your brain a lot better by actually doing it. Like learning to walk. People can tell you how you're supposed to do it, or when you're riding a bike, or when you're learning to swim, people can tell you how you're supposed to be doing it. But you're only really going to remember if you actually go out and actually do it. It's exactly the same in business. So I keep telling you guys, if you want to start a business and you say, I don't know where to start, I don't know how to do it. Just start, just do something. Right, that is done, guys. Alright, body back on, and she's good to go. When I do want to mount a GoPro mount in here somewhere. That's what my buddy Bill Siff done. I'll put a link to Bill Siff's channel down below, guys. He does some great videos, very entertaining. And this is where I got his idea from, and he cable tied it on there. But I think, because I want to leave it on there permanently, I'm going to have to take his head off at some point. And I'll do that another time. It's getting late, I want to go home. Alright, so there we go, guys, all back to full health. And I really can't get over this suspension, guys. Unreal. Unbelievable. Alright guys, that's it for this video. All back together again, all back to full health. No doubt we'll break it again at some point soon. We've got plenty of bashing coming up soon, loads planned, loads coming up, guys. Stay subscribed, stay notified, don't miss out on all the action. Alright guys, see you soon. Bye.